8 p.m. Good evening. You are watching the Church of Uganda Family TV and this is the News at 8. Tonight we bring you updates as the Justice Ministry confirms the use of the biometric technology in the 2026 general elections. Among the stories that will be coming in detail, but first let's take a look at the headlines. In our top stories, research and innovation are crucial for Uganda's survival. President Museveni emphasizes during the launch of Makerere University's Research and Innovations Week.
Therefore, right from the beginning, the NRM saw that this was one of the major bottlenecks for the progress of Uganda and Africa, and the survival of the African people.
Also, Ministry of Finance releases 19.79 trillion Uganda shillings for Quarter 2 2025, allocates significant fundings for employee salaries.
We have released 1.993 trillion to cater for wages and salaries across government. All Ugandans working for government of Uganda must be paid their salary or wage. The money has been released.
And elsewhere, Congo flooding. Authorities race against time to speed up rescue efforts. Pleasure to have you join us once again. This is the News at 8 on Church of Uganda Family TV and I am Mary Prima Awor. Now starting us off, the President of Uganda, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, has underscored the need to promote research and innovation in the country, which he says is the only way for the survival of Ugandans, committing to promote and protect local products. The President made the remarks while launching the Research and Innovations Week at Makerere University. Our reporter was there and now brings us the details.
The President of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, arrived at Makerere University at exactly 11:30 a.m. to officiate over the launching of the Research and Innovations Week, which will run from today, 8th April to 10th April 2025. Upon his arrival, the President toured around the different exhibitions by students, which featured around the areas of science and innovation.
What a person to go through, they have removed almost everything. So how does it work?
Makerere University's Vice-Chancellor, Professor Barnabas Nawangwe, appreciated the President for the Research and Innovation Fund, which he says has been instrumental in transforming the lives of many Ugandans.
We want to thank you for the Research and Innovation Fund of 30 billion that you gave to the university. And I want to report that that money has come every year, except for a few years when the money has been cut for purposes of cash flow. But we would like really to request that that amount of money is given to us every year.
The Minister for Science and Technology, Monica Msenero, called for amendments in the government policy to provide priority to domestically produced products.
Excellency, we are asking that government policy is revised so that we give priority to domestically developed products where we are. We are requesting, because we are very sure that you are going to win the elections, in the next election, policy is designed such that the members of parliament are given vouchers to acquire vehicles made at Chira Motors.
Representing the Minister for Education and Sports was Kaducho, the Minister of State for Primary Education. In her remarks, she stressed the need to strengthen collaborations between the government, academia and civil societies for a better, scientifically transformed society. She further echoed the government's commitment towards integrating research into the National Development Plan and commended the role of research in shaping the lives of many Ugandans.
To maximize the impact of these research outputs, we must strengthen collaboration between academia, government, industry, and civil society. This exhibition serves as a platform for these crucial interactions, where research meets policy academia meets industry and ideas transform into market-ready solutions.
In his keynote address, President Museveni underscored the need to promote research and innovation in the country, which he says is the only way for the survival of Ugandans.
Right from the beginning, the NRM saw that this was one of the major bottlenecks for the progress of Uganda and Africa and the survival of the African people. Some of the people who lagged behind disappeared, who lagged behind in science and technology. And their countries were taken by other people.
He clarified the government's decision to enhance the salaries of scientists, first before arts as a motive which was done in a goodwill and for the betterment of the country, and committed to taking a lead in the promoting and protecting of local products.
The argument I had with some people, why do you pay scientists a bit better before you pay the others? And even earlier, I had directed that government sponsorships at the universities, 70% of it should go to science students. This is not because arts people are not important. They are important. But we need to survive.
The president later launched the Makerere University research agenda.
There goes His Excellency the research agenda of Makerere, the university.
The different students leaders we interacted with supported the president's move to promote science and innovation in the country.
Thanks so much the president and the whole cabinet for being very, very much supportive, because these are high-class innovations that include biology, that include technology.
I'm in support of the president to support the sciences, because the rate at which our country is developing and the world is moving, we really need sciences to enhance better conditions in our country.
This year's Research and Innovations Week is funded by the government of Uganda through the Makerere University Research and Innovation Fund and will run for 3 days. John Baptist Ahunza, Church of Uganda Family TV News at 8.
The Ministry of Finance has unveiled a budget of over 19 trillion Uganda shillings for Q4, that is the final quarter of financial year 2024-2025, with over 1 trillion Uganda shillings allocated for wages and salaries. The Permanent Secretary and Secretary to the Treasury to the Ministry of Finance, Ramadan Gobi, expressed optimism about Uganda's economic growth, noting that the GDP stood at 6.7% in Q1 and 5.3% in Q2, exceeding last year's figures. Uganda is on track to meet its 6.4 growth target, driven by advancements in manufacturing, agriculture and the service sector. The details.
Is statutory obligations. We have released 1.993 trillion to cater for wages and salaries across government. All Ugandans working for government of Uganda must be paid their salary or wage. The money has been released. 288.75 billion is for pension and gratuity for those who retired but they worked for government, and those who have served their contracts and they should be paid gratuity. We have provided the money. We have released 172.64 billion for Parliament to legislate laws and also guide the country in terms of those approvals we usually take there. Judicially, we have released the 58.23 billion shillings so that the lordships can give us justice across the country. We have released 17.46 billion shillings to the Auditor General to continue doing his work, wonderful work he's doing, of following the money to ensure that it is spent in the right places. We have also released 11.17 billion to National Planning Authority to plan better. Now, to enable us, the first enabler is security. The Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs has received a total release of 1.05 trillion shillings. Of this, 407.97 billion is for the operations to keep all the borders of Uganda secure. But also 639.5 billion is for development projects within defense and security. That's why Uganda is safe. Uganda police, who are the close relatives of UPDF in securing Uganda, we have released 144.72 billion shillings for them, and of these 61.27 billion is to cater for contractual obligations for intelligence systems, construction of accommodation for officers, and acquisition of specialized machinery and equipment, among other development obligations. Agro-industrialization has received a total of 524.68 billion shillings in this release. Of this, 130.77 billion is for the operations and research in agro-industrialization, while 393.91 billion shillings is for development projects. The institutions under this program include the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries. We have also NARO, National Agricultural Research Organization, and NAGRIC, National Genetic Research Center and Data Bank. Tourism development has received 41.12 billion shillings to the Ministry of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities, as well as Uganda Tourism Board. Of this money, 22.78 billion is non-wage, so that they can cater for the operations, while 18.37 billion is for development projects, particularly the development of the source of the Nile project.
Away from that, the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Newsat8 Mao, has confirmed the mandatory use of biometric technology in the 2026 general elections to fight ballot stuffing. This was while the ministry officials appeared before the Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee to present their ministerial policy statements for financial year 2025-2026 budget.
Morning, Chair and members.
Today, the Justice and Constitutional Affairs Ministry officials, led by the Minister Newsat8 Mao, presented the ministerial policy statement for the financial year 2025-2026 budget, standing at 201.7 billion shillings before the Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee.
We pray that this committee favorably considers our ministerial policy statement, which we now beg to submit.
With the general elections drawing closer, and as of the use of the OBOS biometric kits remain rejected by the Electoral Commission for use in the 2026 polls due to being faulty, members of the committee queried the ministry on the use of the biometric system of voter identification and verification in light of seeking fairness and accuracy in the elections.
The President was very clear that the election was stolen, and therefore he is keen on seeing a biometric register. Is the minister aware of that frustration, and is he following up with the Electoral Commission on the formulation of a biometric register as opposed to a troubled manual register, which we have had problems with, including himself?
When we had a meeting with the President some time back, he gave a directive that this is a policy issue, we shall have a continuous process so that we are able, those who haven't yet been verified can be verified using the structures of the diesel, the cow, and all this. How far have we gone?
In response, Mao confirmed to the MPs that the use of biometrics technology will be mandatory in the elections to deal with the issue of ballot stuffing.
Main purpose of this biometric verification is to stop those who ballot stuff, and that's the main aim, so that there must be a balance between the record in the ballot box and in the machine. And if there's an imbalance, then the results may even be nullified. We have even put a penalty for any presiding officer under whose watch the two statistics do not balance.
Mao also said that they plan to have 2 biometrics machines at every polling station, following Cabinet's assurance to have funds available to cater for the purchase of the machines.
The money has been provided. I spoke to the chairman of the Electoral Commission before coming here today. I'm glad tomorrow we shall be back together.
While giving an update on the implementation of the Supreme Court ruling that demanded, for among other things, the transfer of cases from court-martial to civilian courts, Minister Mao noted that the process of transferring the files has been finalized.
I will be tomorrow here in the afternoon, and we have got the full list of the cases that have been taken to the DPP already.
Currently, the Justice and Constitutional Affairs Ministry is still waiting for guidance from Cabinet in regards to setting up the Constitutional Review Commission, which call was made by Parliament in 2022 to avoid piecemeal amendments to the 1995 Constitution.
And now allow me shift your attention to receive the Archbishop's message for the day.
Archbishop's Moment, sponsored by Uganda Christian University, a center of excellence in the heart of Africa. Join the UCU experience now.
Getting tired is a normal thing. So, brothers, when you get tired, go and sleep. Don't actually exhaust yourself. You will work the whole night, you die honorably. Go and rest. Sleeping is a normal thing. When you have some issues and it calls you to cry, cry. Even Jesus cried. Crying is a normal thing. Crying is therapy. Sleeping is therapy. Laughing is a therapy. Actually, when you don't know how to laugh, every morning, one man advised, go in the bathroom, remove all your clothes, and face in the mirror and look at yourself. Then you laugh. By the way, these dressings and clothes, they cover out. So you can laugh. That's how you can discard actually stress in it from the morning. Hallelujah.
Archbishop's Moment, sponsored by Uganda Christian University, a center of excellence in the heart of Africa. Join the UCU experience now.
Well, life can get hard and busy sometimes, but ensure to live a restful and a happy life. Stick with us as we return with more. Still to come. UEDCL pledges improved power distribution services. Residents without power urged to be patient.
There are some areas with overloaded transformers, and preparations are underway to do what we call transformer insertion to improve on the strength and stability. This can also take into consideration the backbone conductors and the substations the supplies the main line accordingly.
Welcome back from the short commercial break. Now, the Uganda Electricity Distribution Company, as it marks 9 days in service, has vowed to improve power distribution in the country. According to Paul Mwesigwa, the executive director of the company, they are working hard to address the challenges that have led to frequent power outages in various parts of the country, as he adds that the company is working closely with stakeholders, partners and government to address issues which are still pending. We have the report.
So that's a known fact.
The Uganda Electricity Distribution Company Limited has assured Ugandans of a smooth and efficient transition in the country's power distribution services following its recent takeover from Umeme. Addressing the press at the Uganda Media Center today, the Uganda Electricity Distribution Company Limited Managing Director Paul Mwesigwa said that the company hit the ground running with the major strides already made in stabilizing service delivery and the system operations.
That one is up and running. And if you check on your gadgets or the phones, you'll have UDCL Lite and UDCL. UDCL Lite is for those customers who are using the services of Umeme, but UDCL customers have remained on our UDCL platform. So the vending is up and running, both online and through the banking areas. What are we doing now is to make sure that the services on the side of customer service, the staff are offering what we are supposed to have by taking actions on the issues that might be arising in the process of our service provision. We're also embarking on network stability. We did an audit on the 1st and 2nd of April, and what we found that the area that we've taken over, 113 transformers, they're out of action. So they were 40, but on the 3rd, we issued all of them from our stores, and the deployments are ongoing. We believe by end of this week, across the country, all the transformers will be up and running.
The transition has sparked public concern with complaints of increased blackouts in the several areas since the Uganda Electricity Distribution Company Limited assumed operations. In response, Mwesigwa revealed that a nationwide audit has been conducted to assess and address the root causes of these disruptions. In addition to the technical faults, the Uganda Electricity Distribution Company Limited discovered power overload issues in the several areas. Mwesigwa noted that the company is already taking steps to resolve this by investing in the infrastructure update.
That there are some areas with overloaded transformers, and preparations are underway to do what we call transformer insertion to improve on the strength and stability. This can also take into consideration the backbone conductors and the substations that supplies the main line accordingly.
Mwesigwa added that they have secured affordable financing with the support from the regulator.
There has been a lot of social media talking about a government institution that will be loss-making, that will not manage the affairs. We need to update viewers and the public at large that UDCL is a financially sustainable institution that is managed on a governance of self-sustainability.
So Cabinet made that decision to ensure that there is financial sustainability in that sector. So what did the government do, or what did we do as a regulator? Government formed what we called a joint technical committee. I've heard people saying, where was government, what were they doing? That's not true. Government proactively managed the process from the beginning by putting across a joint technical committee which involved Minister of Finance, Minister of Justice, Minister of Energy, Electricity Regulatory Authority, UDCL.
The Uganda Electricity Distribution Company Limited's takeover marks a significant shift in Uganda's electricity distribution landscape. The company has reaffirmed its commitment to providing reliable, accessible and efficient power to all Ugandans, promising to prioritize the consumer satisfaction and system resilience.
Thank you, Rita, for that report. Meanwhile, Save the Children International, an organization dedicated to advocating for the safety and well-being of children, is calling for increased financing to address the negative impacts of climate change on children, particularly in developing countries. This call was made during the Climate Change Regional Conference in Uganda, organized by Save the Children in Norway, which highlighted the complications and complexities that children face in relation to climate action.
Over the past several decades, 99.9% of all global disasters have been linked to climate change, with children being the most affected. They are especially vulnerable to heat waves, storms, floods, droughts, and other climate-related events, particularly in developing countries. During the Climate Change Regional Conference in Uganda, Rajib Goso, Global Head of Climate Portfolio and Quality at Save the Children, noted that the finances allocated to countries for climate change actions rarely benefit children directly. Only a very small number of children benefit from these funds.
Children do not directly benefit from these finances on climate actions. There is a very small number of children who benefit. For example, Save the Children, together with other partners, conducted a study of major climate finance funds and found that only 2.4% of those funding arrangements actually addressed the strategic and practical needs of children.
Goso emphasized the need for viable solutions to this issue, particularly through policy reform and other measures.
Through policy prescriptions, which we work with the Conference of Parties or parties to the Convention, the UNFCCC, which is the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, with other stakeholders at both the national, subnational, and local level. And we hope that this workshop will particularly help us to not only accelerate funding opportunities for socially excluded groups like children, women, youth, the elderly, the disabled, etc.
Mwira Marama, Senior Child Rights Advocacy and Companies Advisor at Save the Children, highlighted the significant challenge of mobilizing finances to address the growing climate crisis. Urged African governments to unite and demand reforms for the global finance system to ensure that the needs of the children exacerbated by the climate crisis are better addressed.
This year particularly is a very key year when it comes to financial reforms, as well as the funding landscape in the world. The world is hosting through the UN systems the Financing for Development Conference in Spain. One of the key things that we are asking for as Save the Children is that governments around the world must be united in the call and demand for reforms of the global financial architecture, so that they can be more responsive to the needs that children and their families and communities are facing with regards to the climate crisis.
Marama also states that the donor funding has reduced in some countries. Therefore, there is a need to prioritize public investment in issues related to children, especially huge impacts of the climate crisis.
Seeing, I think everybody is aware, but worth mentioning, the USAID cuts are strongly impacting, children. We know that even in the countries where we are working, at least 1.8 million children are now likely to be out of school in the various countries, whether it's in Tanzania, whether it's in South Sudan, and other countries. And they're out of school because of these aid cuts that are being experienced. But also the call goes further to ask the governments in these countries that are largely impacted by the USAID cuts to also prioritize public investment in children. So within our own national budgets in Africa and the Global South.
Christine Nandora, Head of Livelihoods and Climate Adaptive Programming at Save the Children Uganda, notes that in Uganda children have got severe impact in terms of climate change, such as hunger, especially in Karamoja region, school dropouts due to floods. Therefore, there is need for better environment through climate change mitigation and adaptation.
Specifically for children,
we've seen their education, almost every part of their lives being affected, be it livelihoods, be it education, be it health. From the different diseases, children are not able to access school. Take an example of Karamoja. The roads get cut off by floods and children are not able to access schools. Then the drought, the persistent drought in Karamoja, children are not able to access food. And if they are not able to access food, they cannot study on an empty stomach. The malnutrition levels are going up. So as Save the Children, we want to make sure that we create a better environment for children to thrive, so that they are able to access school, they are able to access health services, they are able to grow in an environment that really promotes their well-being and their rights.
Julius Muhomuza, Church of Uganda Family TV, Newsat8.
In other news, the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, MAIF, has prioritized cashew nut cultivation as part of its efforts to boost agricultural production and alleviate poverty. According to Nicholas Tugume, Senior Agriculture Officer at MAIF and Desk Officer for Fruits and Nuts, the government recently signed a Memorandum of Understanding with Uganda Cashew Nut and Trees Limited to support and enhance production of cashew nuts in the country. Tugume made these remarks during the launch of the Cashew Nut Farming Initiative in Chiriandongo District, organized by the MK Youth Initiative. The details.
Cashew nut cultivation is gaining momentum in Uganda, particularly in areas along the dry cattle corridor. The government is actively promoting this drought-resistant crop as a new cash crop and a source of income for farmers. According to Nicholas Tugume, Senior Agriculture Officer at the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, and the Desk Officer for Fruits and Nuts, the government recently signed a Memorandum of Understanding with Uganda Cashew Nut and Trees Limited to enhance production. Tugume made these remarks during the launch of cashew nut cultivation in Chiriandongo District, an initiative facilitated by the MK Youth Initiative in partnership with Brigadier General Dr. Patrick Ochan from the UPDF.
As Minister of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries is concerned, as I mentioned, it is one of the non-traditional cash crops that the ministry has prioritized to put support in it. And in this, the government and Minister of Agriculture have already signed a Memorandum of Understanding with Uganda Cashew Nuts and Trees Limited, to boost the cashew nut production. When it comes to resource allocation, we can see that in the financial 2019-2020, the government allocated funds to a tune of R1 billion. This went to the procurement of seedlings.
Tugume adds that launching cashew nut growing in Chiriandongo is to mobilize the youth, women and men to embrace cashew nuts growing. He explains different benefits of cashew nuts to people growing it and the farmers, most especially income generation.
We have several benefits of this crop. It has to the community, beginning with the economic benefits, whereby it is an income generating crop, whereby the cashew nut farming can provide a source of income to farmers and their families, as well as job creation, especially now to the youth of Uganda. Once these youth grow cashew nuts, they are able to get income. All others can get employment in terms of processing industries and also working on farms, on their own farms for job creation. Then also export earnings, as a country, Uganda can earn foreign exchange from exporting cashew nuts at other countries once the production has reached the levels of export. We also have other environmental benefits where I have the soil conservation. These cashew nuts really conserves the cashew, can help prevent soil erosion where cashew nut trees are grown. The fact that these are very huge trees, they have a lot of roots which can actually hold the soil structure together.
Brigadier General Dr. Patrick Ochan from the UPDF and a resident of Chiriandongo District explained that he invited the MK Youth Initiative to raise awareness and encourage the local community to engage in cashew nut cultivation.
Brought in a new product
under the MK initiative, youth initiative, to Kiriandongo district, specifically Lero D village. I have seen that there is a looming poverty, but the people have learned.
He says that growing cashew nuts is an everlasting investment to the communities.
Decided to bring this and introduce cashew nut growing to this place because this will be an everlasting investment for them. Even a person with only half an acre can reap much more in the future and will not be dependent or be borrowing from other people.
Nyachoto Pista Administrator and Alex Oruka, agronomist at MK Youth Initiative, both applauded Brigadier General Dr. Patrick Ochen for identifying and promoting the initiative to encourage cashew nut cultivation in Kiriandongo.
Youth are so happy, and we have planted 29 acres today. You can imagine. So I also want to thank General Ochen for identifying MK as an initiative that is to transform the community here through cashew nut farming or growing of cashew nuts.
I would love to appreciate General Ochen for inviting us to this environment of Mutundwa sub-county, where today we exercise the activity of planting cashew nuts. And I see many people are really eager to grow this crop, and they want more seedlings in the area.
Residents who participated in the launch embraced the initiative and the idea of growing cashew nuts, expressing their belief that it will help them escape poverty.
Batuleria cashew nut yok tuvinga mobnaku. Tutungia msente. Mulime na amani mwekambi tuena ba grupu tukwatanize. Tujja kutunga msente tusomesa abana baitu mnaku ntuburugam.
Julius Mumza, Church of Uganda Family TV, Newsat8.